Aliens could be anywhere from like microscopic to like the size of our planet. They're calling them unattributed aerial phenomena. Oh, come on, we all know you're talking about UFOs. All of this is not going in the episode. I'm Hannah Kaiser, and this is The Bandwagon. Last week, I bandwagoned the Rays, and they had a pretty fine week. Kevin Kiermaier's eyes hit an inside the park home run. Austin Meadows had 7 hits in 2 days, and neither of their fans gave me too much crap. Sorry about that. They've fallen even further back in the division, unfortunately, though, because the Yankees won't stop winning. And speaking of teams that have had their upstart hopes dashed by the Yankees, this week, I'm bandwagoning the Twins. Who, for the past 20 years, have put together a series of very strong contenders, but you might not have noticed if you're only looking at the October results since they keep getting bounced from the postseason by the Bombers. Right now, the best team in baseball is not the reigning Red Sox, the rich Yankees, the perennial NL champion Dodgers, the innovative Rays, or even the dated darling Astros. It is a Midwestern small market team with a first-year manager that hasn't won a playoff series since 2002. That would be the Twins.
Okay.
Yeah. Mostly they're good because they hit a lot of home runs, generally pretty boring, but through the first 50 games of this season, they have set franchise records for wins, runs, home runs. They have a team slugging percentage of .516. That doesn't mean a lot to you unless I tell you that the MLB record for team slugging for a whole year is the 03 Red Sox, who slugged .493. It's probably not going to stay that way, but pretty cool. They do things like hit a home run cycle a few weeks ago. That's a solo shot, 2-run home run, 3-run home run, and a grand slam all in the same game while scoring 18 runs against the Mariners. Still counts. They are doing all of this with baseball's youngest manager. His name is Rocco, and he's young enough to have watched Rocco's modern life. He was a player this decade. He's also a member of the Rhode Island Italian-American Hall of Fame. Shout out to you, Rocco Badelli. We have to talk about William Astudillo because that's the main reason that you would be a fan of the Twins and the main reason you would know anything about the Twins. He joined the Twins as a 9th-year minor league professional on his 4th franchise last year and became an overnight sensation for running while looking like this. This whole Astudillo segment could actually just be a collection of his viral clips. Play the one with the home run robbery. Play the one with the hidden ball trick.
No-look throw.
Oh, the no-look throw. This one's my favorite. The no-look throw that he did from behind the plate. He dodged getting murdered and then did a push-up. Bet you didn't think he could do that.
Topless one.
I don't think we have that. If you do, though. Hannah Kaiser at yahoosports.com. It is important to note that the 27-year-old Venezuelan that they call La Tortuga is not just a 5'9", 225-pound punchline. Between his plate appearances last year plus the first quarter of this season, he is batting .310. William Astudillo making us all think that we could be major leaguers someday. Can't. They also have old slugger Nelson Cruz, who loves sleeping so much that he asked the Twins if they have a nap room when they tried to sign him this offseason. They didn't. They said they'd look into building one, so Nelson Cruz is now a visionary who invented bedrooms. Pitcher Trevor May is a pro streamer for video games.
I just fell into fire. I'm dead. Game over. Are you?
All of which is to say they're fat, they're tired, they play video games, and their boss is a millennial. If it weren't for all the dingers, they'd be just like you or me.
Woo!
The real reason that you should bandwagon the Twins, if you look at this chart, I'll give you this chart.
Love charts.
Charts! I'm a fan. Charts! Here's the chart. If you bet on the Twins November 1st, if you were like, I bet on them now to win the World Series, you could have gotten wild, insane odds, and they might actually win the World Series, and then you would make an insane profit. We referenced the Twins in the second episode when we were talking about how they're giving away their tickets for $5. They also have an alcohol-free family zone where tickets include a soda and a hot dog. Don't like either of those things, but that's good for some people. Hot dogs, not a fan. Not a fan, not a fan.
Rain delay shenanigans.
I'm a fan of everything that the White Sox did to kill time with the rain delay. Here's the thing, though. Teams keep starting games when they know that they're gonna get rained out because they want you to come in and buy a bunch of beer and food while you're waiting. I know that it's like funny sometimes to dunk on weathermen and how they're like always wrong, but actually weather predictions are pretty good. We know when it's gonna rain. Just call the game ahead of time.
Meteorologists.
Yeah, fan. Thanks guys.
Taking the field without cleats.
Oliver Perez was in a game, didn't like his shoes. He said, I need new shoes. He took both shoes off, just cast them aside, and then just stood on the mound in his socks for several minutes. You ever go to the beach and then you put your sandals on and you still have sand on the bottom of your feet? He did that while in a baseball game. Not a fan.
Beaches.
Not a fan of beaches. They seem like they're gonna be really fun. The water's too cold, the sand is too hot, there's cigarette butts on the ground. It's like you bring a book to the beach, but that's a bad place to even read because you're trying to do the thing where you're blocking the sun and you're reading the book, and so then instead you flip onto your stomach and you read like that, and then the bottom of your butt burns because you didn't put sunscreen there.
Feels very personal.
Drake! Not a fan of Drake. Happy for the Raptors. That's not his doing whatsoever. He should take 0 credit and he should leave young women alone. That's a good reason to not be a fan of someone, but not funny. Also, he's not on the f***ing team. Sorry.
Stanley
Almost the Bears
Cup.
watch. The cup
I'm
itself?
a fan of it.
Oh, just like in general, the sport of hockey? Not a fan.
You hate Drake and hockey. Canada.
Universal healthcare, huge fan. Lots to love about Canada.
G.D. Will Smith.
Oh, from the new Aladdin.
Yes.
I'm not a fan of any of the live-action Disney remakes. The originals were perfect. Robin Williams is the perfect genie and no one will ever top him. All the live-action Disney movies are bad. Lion King just seems strange to me because those are not real animals.
Get a real tiger.
Those are not real animals. They're like live-action Lion King, and then I'm like, that's a fucking CGI lion. I don't know what you're talking about. Unless it's real animals, it's not live action.
Preach.
Not a fan. All right, yeah, let's do Humble Proposal.
Do it.
This week is the MLB Draft, which baseball is increasingly propping up as a feel-good display of dreams come true, even though it is both anti-labor and anti-capitalist and should be abolished. I'm not the first person to suggest this, since being paid to play sports should not preclude the same basic professional autonomy that most people enjoy, but the draft remains powerfully enmeshed in the popular understanding of the sports ecosystem, and dismantling that should be more than just a rhetorical device. Tune in on June 3rd and you'll witness a bunch of pre-professionals at the top of their field being told unilaterally where they will work and how much they'll be paid for the first 6 to 13 years of their career, with absolutely no recourse or leverage beyond apparently leaving the country altogether. There's a perception that the draft induces parity by leveling the playing field across markets, and that without one, some teams would just wildly outspend on the amateur free agents and overly dominate the sport. But if that's true, how do you explain the current state of free agency? I'm not suggesting that the low-key legal collusion to suppress salaries amongst free agents is a good thing, but trust me, we are not in danger of teams overpaying for top talent on the open market. Major League Baseball operates a government-sanctioned multi-billion-dollar monopoly with complex revenue-sharing system and the ability to control costs at every juncture. The idea that they need to artificially hamstring a 19-year-old's earning potential in order to give the Marlins a fighting chance is frankly a load of crap. In fact, without the draft rewarding teams for poor performance, there would be no excuse for teams intentionally tanking. How's that for competitive balance?
Yeah. Yeah.
You should be a fan of La Tortuga, and in doing so, be a fan of the Twins. This is the most obvious literal manifestation of bandwagoning. They're really, really good. Now's the time to jump on board. Not a fan of beaches, not a fan of Drake, not a fan of hockey. Why are we even talking about hockey? Huge fan of Canada. Just put it out there. Not a fan of the new Aladdin. Not a fan of the draft. They should abolish that. And aliens are real. Yeah. Yeah.